Welcome back, everyone. This is part 2 of Intro to CAD. And I wanted to just let you know why I'm creating this series and why I started the channel Anatomy of CAD. I wanted to do something that I wish I would have had when I was starting with CAD design. And I'm using Matrix 3.4. It is a plugin to a software called Rhino, and it is used in the jewelry industry. It is a very in-depth program. If you were to look at job requirements, quite often you will see somebody say you need 2 to 5 years experience, and after I had 5 years experience, I really did understand why they would say that. I believe anybody can learn CAD. Some people learn slower, some people learn quicker, but we all get there in the end, right? I feel like troubleshooting is probably the hardest part of CAD. There's still things that trip me up. Even today, I was like, why won't that join? Why won't that curve join? Well, you learn over time to figure out those things. I have pulled in some of the solids, and I'm not really going over the menu up at the top of the for view yet. I wanted to kind of go in order and focus on the quick commands, which are commands that we use quite often. The last command that we talked about on part 1 was the gems. And so let's just kind of review. I'm going to talk about what they are real quick. Undo, redo, duplicate, edit points on, control points on, mirror, move, rotate, explode, join, split, trim, group, ungroup, ring rail, outside ring rail, and gem. Now, I know that we didn't go into depth on, and some of these we just mentioned that it was there. So I will be continuing this series, and I'm going to be going into depth on how those are used and doing videos showing how I make particular rings and earrings and bracelets and pendants and such. So you will get an opportunity to send me requests, and as always, please comment below if you have a comment or if you have a question. I'm always here for you. Okay. I'm going to pull in some curves as well because I want to go over some things that can be done. Now, like I said before, I'm going to go over some of these things in depth later, so I don't want to take the time now because I really want to focus on some of the basics. All right, so you'll notice that I have my render view on the mode, on the perspective. You can still see the curves, and you can adjust that if you don't want to see the curves. That's a little bit more advanced. Not that it's hard, but you know, I like to keep it simple in the beginning. It helps to retain the information. All right, so I'm just going to put these in different modes. I have my wireframe, my solid, ghosted, and render. All right. I do like to work in the perspective mode or the perspective viewport as much as possible, but you'll notice most of the time I have all 4 viewports out, because if I'm doing something here in the top viewport and I decide to move that, or I decide to rotate it, it is going to affect how it looks down here. And maybe I want to jump down here and rotate. All right, I'm going to back up because I wanted to kind of go over that again. We talked about the rotate before. Okay, so what I did to rotate that was I left clicked on rotate and I clicked the item, select objects to rotate. It says right down here in your command line, press enter when done. And then it wants to know the center of the rotation. I can pick anywhere. It doesn't matter. I can pick on the object. I can pick over here. There we go. I could rotate it again by clicking enter and use a different center of rotation. I can come down here and rotate it this way. So there's a lot you can do with very simple commands. And that's how I feel pretty strongly about, if you learn some of the basics, you're going to be able to actually do a lot with that. Right now, I'm just giving an overview. You won't remember all of it, but you'll know that it's possible because you saw somebody do that. And so you'll know, I don't know how to find it. I don't know what it was called, but I know it can be done. And even that knowledge is helpful. All right, we did go over explode. So let's go down here to gem on a curve, something we use all the time. I'm going to click on that, and it's going to ask me to select the curve. I'm going to select this curve and press enter. Nice. There we go. Now, it orientates the gem to usually F4. Let's see where we're at. Oh, when you are in a command, you cannot change the mode, which used to be able to do that, so I still try. All right, so here's F4. So not all the gems are facing towards F4, so I'm not really sure. Like I said, I'm still getting to know Matrix Gold. We are distant cousins right now at best. Okay, so I want to change these gems because I want to make them bigger, and I also want to bring them all the way down. So I selected the gems. I come over here to the right side of the screen, and it says gem on curve. I'm going to edit, and I'm going to hover over the end of the gem until it says end position. Now you will notice it tells you how many gems and what the total carat weight is. And on this side, it should tell you right here, if you hover over that white arrow, it will tell you the size of the gem. It's 1.3. So I'm going to hover over the end position, pull it all the way down. And there's some control points over in your dynamic command box. And you will be able to change the orientation of the gem and the size. There's a size list. I'm just going to click on that for now. And since this is just an introductory, we are just going to kind of breeze through it a little bit quick because there's a lot in here that you can do. You can change the spacing and the orientation. Let's see. It's a little tricky. I'm trying to remember what it's called. See, even after you do it a long time, it's hard to remember sometimes. Center of gem, start. Nope. Interesting. Down. I had it. Orientation method will orient it to axis Y or down. So I clicked down, and let's see what that looks like in render. Very nice. So all of the gems are facing down. Now, I usually have a surface under my gem, which, is why I had to struggle to find that a little bit, because typically I already have a surface, and when I would edit the gem, if there's a surface under here, you can target the surface, and that's usually what I do. Okay, Not that I have to explain, but the more you know. So, okay, let's move on. Let's see. Gem on ring rail. I don't have a ring rail right now. It's really similar to gem on curve. So I'm going to pass that one over for now. And the next one is hide, which we have a hide down here that I use all the time, so I never use that. Break history. Why would you want to break history? Well, there are times when you want to break history. After my project is done, a lot of times I'm moving it around, duplicating it, and moving it around to set it up for a render. And I don't want the history to be on there at that time, because then sometimes my gems don't move. Sometimes the dynamic feature of the gems and the cutters and all that make it so that it really messes up the design. So there are times when you want to do that. Match attributes. I haven't used this in Matrix Golds for like the last 6 months. I used to use it all the time in Matrix 9, and I don't know if I'm just not doing it right, but there are times when it doesn't work at all. So, but match attributes typically is if you have like cutters or something, that prongs that you've set up for a stone on your halo, for example, and you want to do the exact same configuration for your gems on your shank, then you could match that attribute, which is very handy. I used to use it all the time. So that's something that, you know, as I've learned and as I've been able to function in the new Matrix Gold, new to me anyway, I've just continually learned. And you know, if it's something I can get by without, then I just kind of, I don't know, wait and gather up a few questions and then make a phone call. So they're always there to help. All right, profile placer is something you use all the time. And that would be, let's take this curve and let's practice hiding. So I'm going to select the straight curve and I'm going to right click on hide, and then the only thing there is my curve. All right, I'm going to actually turn that white so we can really see it, and I am going to go up here and click on profile placer. It is going to, oh, it already did that. Let's see. I usually do it a different way. Okay. So my profile is sideways. I want it to be rotated, so I can click and hold that button and press shift, and it will rotate it completely. There is my profile. I am going to go over profiles in a whole nother video because, oh my goodness, there's so much you can do with profiles. And now the profile attached to the curve, there is a way to make that solid, which we will also be going over, and that is up in this area here in the surface menu. But I just wanted you to see that that is something that we use all the time, and it's right here in the quick commands. Next, sweep 1. Oh, well, there we go. We'll go ahead and use that. So sweep 1 is a way that we can make that a solid. So you click on sweep 1, select rail, which is my curve, and then select sweep shape, which is, I don't know why they don't call it a profile, but that's okay. And then we press enter when done. You have to press twice. You can select close sweep here. Why won't that let me do it? Okay, we're just going to press enter. There we go. And so it made a surface that needs to be closed, and then once it's closed, it will be a solid. There we go. All right. Add profile to the library. Select a curve to add a profile. All right, so, oh, there we go. Let's just call that oval. Save. I am not sure what happened there, but I can tell you that I've never used that. So we will figure it out together. How's that? That's what we'll do, but not today. So I'm actually going to end the video right here so that I can really devote a lot more time to the project bags and full save and how to save your files and import and export. And so I just wanted to say thank you so much for watching. Please leave comments below if you have any questions, or just tell me what you want to work on or how long you've been working on a 3D design program. So goodbye for now, and you're welcome.